Local 3's coverage of the BlueCross Bowl Football Championship is brought to you by Warren & Griffin, your local 5-star law firm.
Countdown to kickoff is on. Baylor versus McCallie again for all the marbles. Less than 90 minutes now away from a rematch of last year's D2 AAA BlueCross Bowl. Our sports team has been ready for this game basically since the conclusion of last year. Ben and Samantha live from Finley Stadium. Are you ready?
That's right, Greg. Ben Bobick here, Samantha Casano, and guess what? We're not cold yet. We're just inching closer and closer to kickoff to the Baylor-McCallie State Championship game, Part 2, a rematch of last year's game. We're talking all Red Raiders this half hour. What a season this team has had. They're undefeated as they come into this championship game. They've been blowing a lot of teams out, including their opponents tonight in McCallie back in October. But it's just amazing to see what they've done. And what's crazy, too, is they won the state championship just 2 years ago, but they haven't gone a full season undefeated and won a championship since 1973, so a little bit more history on the line tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. They've been playing so well, really the entire season, really from the moment that they came back in that second half, week 1 against Raven Gap. I mean, you thought that it would be similar to their week 1 loss last year when they had fell to Raven Gap. They ended up making it all the way here, but now they're here. They look so much stronger.
Yeah, they really do, and they're just loaded like with so many playmakers. Man, you look in the backfield alone. You have Shekai Mills-Knight, who had a wonderful semifinal game in their win over Brentwood Academy. You have David Gabriel-Georges, DGG, who's a finalist for Mr. Football, where he's a sophomore, which is scary. The guy we talked to this week, Jimmy Bryson's on the line. He's going to Georgia Tech. I mean, Division I talent across the board for this Baylor team, and it's so much fun to watch the fact that they're right here in our own backyard, and it could be any given night anybody's game.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. Cam Sparks and Joakim Dodson both headed to FBS schools. Joakim Dodson just signed with Tennessee yesterday. They've acquired 78% of Baylor's touchdown passes this year, but I think something that's really interesting, they've been dealing with some health issues. David Gabriel-Georges hasn't played in their past 2 playoff games. And still, it's no problem. And
we're forgetting the guy who's throwing the ball, Briggs Cherry. I mean, he's having a great season, too. His completion percentage is through the roof. You talk about those 2 guys. I think it's funny, we're sitting here talking about naming all these talent, and I name a guy, and then Samantha names some more, and then I name some more. That just shows you what they have, but there's a reason they're in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, and I think Briggs Cherry is a big reason for that. First-year starter taking over for Whit Muschamp, who, of course, is at Vanderbilt now. Over 2,300 yards. He's done a lot for this team, but it's not just him. There's so much talent, and that's the reason that Baylor has made it to this point in the year.
Any given play, we can, bust it for an 80-yard, 90-yard. No matter where we're at, we can score. As an O-line, we're so gifted to be with, David and Shekai in the backfield, Joe, Cam, out wide receivers, Briggs slinging that. We're so blessed that, every play we have to give our all because every play can be a touchdown. And I think that's what we're extremely blessed for.
And you know what? We talked about the offense a lot. How about the defense? We talked about the last time they played McCallie. I mean, it was a lot of turnovers they created. I mean, their defensive coordinator, Chris Brown, was a very successful high school coach at Red Bank, comes to be the DC here at Baylor, and they've been lights out. And they were a big reason that defense, the Red Raiders defense that is, was a big reason they won that game in October, too.
Absolutely. Jamie and Theodore snagged 3 interceptions. Baylor has committed 4 turnovers the entire season, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. I mean, are we surprised that they're here?
And you hear coaches talk about it all the time. You got to limit the turnovers and limit the explosive plays, but you also have to have them as well. So we're just getting started down here at Finley Stadium. I know we've been down here for a bit, but we have our final pregame notes coming up at 6 in sports. We talk Baylor versus McCallie in the D2 AAA State Championship game. For Samantha Casano, I'm Ben Bobick, live from Finley Stadium, Local 3 Sports.